Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are making these super cute mittens. These are the quickest mittens you'll ever knit and perfect for beginners, as these are knitted flat using super bulky weight yarn. Sadly, I found this cute alpaca yarn that comes in lighter weight, but I'm gonna use 2 strands of this and then drop snow yarn as the contrast yarn for the ribbing. For the needles, I'm going to use 8mm needles for this project. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make the small size, which is great for kids or a smaller woman's hand. I'll also give you the numbers for the medium size, suitable for most women. To start off, I cast on 22 stitches for the S size. If you want to make a size larger, cast on 24 stitches. I also have this pattern written out, or if you want to make bigger sizes, I have L and extra large size for these mittens also. The pattern is full of written in row by row instructions, and I'm linking it down in the description box below. It includes all 4 sizes, row by row instructions, and is written in both European and US metric sizes. So now if you have your stitches on the needles, start with row 1, which is knit 1, purl 1. This will be the main pattern for the ribbing. Knit 1, purl 1 all cross, and this will be also the pattern for the following rows, so just keep repeating knit 1, purl 1. Continue knitting until the ribbing is about 15 centimeters long. Feel free to adjust the length, add additional rows, and here I'm finishing up the wrong side row, measuring now to see if I have the needed length. Yep, 15 centimeters. I'm gonna cut now this contrast yarn. And here I'll show you the next step. I'm going to use now the main yarn and will increase the stitch amount on the next row. So I'm joining my medium weight yarn that I'm going to use as super bulky weight. For that, I'm going to find 2 yarn ends from the same ball and joining as it would be just 1 strand. And I'm going to start with the increase row, knitting 1, knitting 5 next stitches and making an increase stitch. For increasing, I'm picking up bar between the stitches and knitting a stitch into that. Knitting next 5. And making the increase, picking up bar and knitting into it. Now 2 increases done. I'm gonna repeat these twice again. So knitting 5, making an additional stitch, knitting next 5 stitches, making a stitch and knitting the last stitch. So now I have 4 additional stitches on my needles, and for the S size I have 26 stitches. I'm going to continue working 5 more rows in stockinette the stitch. So here I'm purling the next row. I'm going to also show how it should look after you have worked all the rows. And now after the increase and adding additional stockinette stitch rows, we're gonna continue with the thumb gusset and thumb flaps. So first we're gonna make the thumb gusset. Here I'm gonna knit 1, make 1 knit stitch, and knit all the remaining stitches until I have one knit stitch left on my left hand needle. So here we are increasing for the thumb gusset on both sides, so one additional stitch in the beginning of the row and one additional stitch just before the last stitch. Knitting all the stitches until I have one left, picking up bar between the stitches and making the extra stitch. And now on this row I have created 2 additional stitches. I'm gonna purl back on the wrong side row and repeat the increased rows and purl rows twice more. So now I have 6 additional stitches. I should have 32 on my needles, and I'm gonna continue with the thumb flap. For that I'm knitting first 6 stitches. Here I have 6 stitches done. Now I'm gonna turn the work, forget about the remaining stitches, and continue back and forth on these 6 stitches. So I'm gonna purl back and continue in stockinette stitch, repeating these 2 rows for 3 times more. So the thumb should be 8 rows long for the S size. And this will be just one side of the thumb, so creating the first flap. Now when I have worked all the 8 rows, I'm gonna cut the yarn, leaving a little bit longer end here. Take my tapestry needle and we'll pull through the remaining stitches that I had left on my needle. So all the 6 stitches go here, and as I have the thread already here on my needle, I'm gonna also hide this yarn end to the wrong side, so I wouldn't later need to deal with this. So now we have the first thumb flap done, and we're gonna join the yarn with right side facing to the remaining stitches and knit all these stitches I have here on my needles until we get to the other side and make the other flap. So join the yarn, and now I'm knitting all the stitches I had on my needles. And the 20 middle stitches will be for the hand, and the 6 remaining will be for the thumb. Now when I turn my work now for the first time to the purl side, I'm gonna make the second flap by purling only 6 stitches, and this will be already the first and the second row of the second thumb flap. Here I have now 6 stitches done, and continuing in stockinette stitch for additional 6 rows, so the thumb flap is 8 rows long. And when I have done that, I'm gonna finish this flap as I did with the first one. And now we're going to continue with the remaining stitches. This time I'm going to join the yarn with wrong side facing, as we already knit these stitches on the right side, and gonna purl the stitches. And I'm gonna continue in stockinette stitch over these remaining stitches. These are 20 stitches. I'm gonna work them until it measures 30 centimeters from the cast on row. And now I'm continuing with the decreases. The first decrease row I'm knitting 1, working 2 stitches together, knitting next 4, knitting 2 stitches together, knitting 1 and knitting 1. Now we're on the second side already, as we will be folding this mitten later. We'll do the third decrease, knitting 4, working 2 stitches together. Doesn't matter which decrease you use, and knitting the last stitch. So on this row we decreased by 4 stitches the stitch count. On the wrong side row we're gonna purl back over all stitches. On decrease row number 2 we're gonna knit the first stitch, knitting 2 stitches together, but now we have 2 stitches left here, knitting the 2 until we come to the second decrease, knitting 2. Here we will be folding the mitten later, doing the third decrease, knitting 2 stitches together, knitting 2, knitting 2 stitches together, and knitting the last stitch. On the wrong side, still purling all the stitches. And now we have the last decrease row. Here I'm again knitting the first one, knitting 2 stitches together, knitting 2 stitches together, knitting 2, knitting 2 stitches together, 2 stitches together, and knitting the last stitch. We're going to finish this top as we did with the thumbs, so cutting the yarn, leaving extra long end, and using tapestry needle to pull the yarn through the remaining stitches. And with the same yarn end I'm gonna now use for sewing the sides together. First I'm gonna attach the sides with some pins so it would stay in place. And joining the mitten from the wrong side. So you can use some fancy sewing method, but here with this fuzzy yarn it really doesn't matter until you just close it with small stitches. So I'm gonna start from the top and join it until the thumb, then all around the thumb until I come to the cuff. You can use the same yarn for sewing together the ribbing part, or I had already a longer yarn end when I started the cast on using this yarn end here, or you can just join the contrast yarn to join the ribbing part. After you have finished sewing this mitten together, you can then do it all over again and make a second similar mitten, which is knitted in the same manner, so both mittens are identical. Now finishing the yarn here, and can turn the right side facing. Let's see how cute this turned out. This is just perfect. Look at that. Now folding the ribbing to double cuff, and I'm ready with my mitten. So this is the small size, made the medium size, here's the L size, also have one bigger size. Hope you enjoyed. Click on the link in the description for full pattern, and see you in the next video.